A lot of Americans are unnerved after reading a congressional letter last night that shows the federal government was coordinating with the private financial institutions to track and flag Americans based on whether they shop at Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, whether they're buying things like the Bible, and whether they are sending any Zelle payments labeled Trump or MAGA. The letter that has made this revelation came from Congressman Jim Jordan. He addressed the letter to a former official with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, requesting that he come in for an interview about why he was tracking these kinds of private transactions. It's part of the House Weaponization Committee's investigation looking into just how much the Biden administration is weaponizing the federal government against the American citizens. Sounds like it's happening more than we thought. Our shopping habits are now being spied on as potential terror threats, according to this letter. Jordan writes that the federal agency FinCEN, he says, quote, they urged large financial institutions to comb through the private transactions of their customers for suspicious charges on the basis of protected political and religious expression, he wrote. He also went on to say that the feds had a particular interest in what books Americans were buying, especially religious texts, and they wanted the financial institutions to let them know if Americans bought any bus or plane tickets or rental cars to areas with no apparent purpose. So if you really wanted to take a vacation to that state you've never been to, the feds might be watching you. Jim Jordan wrote that he is pursuing more details on this after he obtained documents that showed that the feds began this surveillance with financial institutions, banks, following the events of January 6, 2021. He gave the former FinCEN leader, Noah Bishop, until the end of this month to contact Congress and submit to an interview. And here to join us to discuss this is Georgia Congressman Mike Collins. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Ivory, sorry.
Absolutely. So no worries. When you hear that, that our feds are looking at our religious texts, historically, the first Americans were very religious. They loved God. But now our current government believes that could mean that you're a radical terrorist.
Yeah, no, isn't that amazing? The fact that we are a Christian-based nation. We're out there fighting terrorism with people that of different faiths that want to kill us anyway. And now we have our own federal government, the FBI, out there investigating people just because they may have searched or have done something that happened to be MAGA or with the Bible or Christianity or anything, especially in the sporting goods. Just it's a prime example. Another example and a long list of examples of how this administration has taken agencies and weaponized them against what they feel are their political opponents.
Right. I mean, I recently bought a set of golf clubs at Dick's Sporting Goods. I wonder if I'm being tracked by our Department of Justice now for that Dick's purchase.
And you very well could. So if you go play golf by yourself, the three people they put with you may be somebody with the FBI. Who knows?
Wow, exactly. Okay, so you're in Congress. Do you think there's anything that Congress can actually do to stop our DOJ from just expanding its spying?
Well, it's a good thing that we are exposing everything that we find, and Jordan and the Judiciary Committee, the oversight, all the subcommittees up under them, they are bringing to light what we have been hearing for a while. And it's not just the FBI, it's the DOJ, you said it, the Treasury Department, the IRS, they started back years ago when they were targeting conservative groups that were trying to get tax exempt status. So it's not anything new. It's just moved from groups down to individual people. And, I think Donald Trump was right when he said, they may be targeting me today, but they're going to be targeting you tomorrow. And that's exactly what's happening here.
And we've watched as more and more Trump supporters are being targeted. They're really expanding this January 6th thing. I mean, way beyond the bounds of the Capitol grounds, and if they're now spying on us as they're But are you guys able to pass something or somehow discipline these federal officers who do these
Yeah.
things? It feels like they just go unchecked.
Yeah, we need to bring them in, hold everybody accountable as this stuff comes to light. And it will. It'll come to light. It's amazing how things, once they start unfolding, that it gets faster and faster as the information comes in, because especially if you know something and you're a federal agent, you don't want to be the one holding the bag. You want to be the one that's out there on the front saying, this is what I know and this is what I've seen. But the FBI, I was just in a hearing yesterday, and this is in the Transportation Committee. And we had a group of people in there talking about how bad theft is in cargo. And the answer was, well, the FBI is not out there investigating cargo theft. They're more interested in investigating and targeting the American people, taking their civil liberties away from them, whether it be their First Amendment speech, their Second Amendment rights that they're looking at. And instead of them doing their job of serving, they're targeting. And that's what we got to get to the bottom of it. And that's what we got to fix on these agencies.
Absolutely. Well, Georgia Congressman Mike Collins, thank you so much for coming on. Great talking to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And now a message from our sponsor, The Wellness Company. Everyone knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner, whether it comes in the form of a pandemic or something much more mundane like a tick bite. You and your family need to be prepared, and that is where The Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company and their doctors are medical professionals you can trust, and their new medical emergency kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Be ready for anything. This medical emergency kit contains an assortment of life-saving medications, including ivermectin and Z-Pak. The medical emergency kit provides a guidebook to aid in the safe use of all of these life-saving medications, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Rest assured knowing that you have emergency antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics on hand to help keep you and your family safe. Go to twc.health/headlines today and order. That's twc.health/headlines. Use promo code headlines to save 10%.